Bless Squad, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy, Blessed Applesauce, here to bless y'all with another video here on Blessed to Invest. And today, we're here to talk about how much money can you expect to make day trading? Does this actually work? Is this real? Is this gambling? Because a lot of people think it's a scam. You got the scam artists out there hitting people up on Instagram and Twitter like, oh, sign up for my course, blah, blah, blah. But is this a real thing you can make legit money on consistently? Can you live off of this money? And the simple answer to this question is yes. But we're going to get a little bit deeper into it throughout this video. So before we get into it, make sure you spam a like on this video. Of course, spam the like button, also sub down below for more content like this, because I'm going to be pumping out videos pretty consistently on topics like this. But getting into it, day trading. You probably heard the statistic that almost 90% of people fail at this game. 90% has a 90% failure rate. And the reason why I say it has a 90% failure rate, the reason why I think it does is because a lot of people just do not put the time in. They don't put the effort in. It is a lot of work required to get into day trading. You need a lot of expensive machinery. You need your scanners. You need to have the right charting. You need to have the right strategy. And you also need time to understand how everything moves and how your emotions play out in the market. So a lot of people get into this and say, oh, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to become a day trader. They have their regular day job that they just hate. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to day trade, make an extra $50,000, $100,000 on a year, getting into it, and they just fail. They know nothing about it. So you need to make sure getting into this, when you're thinking, okay, I want to start this career, I want to be successful in day trading. You got to think of this as like a job or going into college. You have to put the time in. You got to read the books. You got to read the charts. You got to study. And this is not one of those things you can come in and just click buttons. People get really comfortable with that because it's so easy nowadays with Robinhood and the Weebles of the world, where you can just access any brokerage platform and just start day trading literally in a matter of seconds. But it takes a lot more time than that. So when you look at the 90% failure rate, just realize that a lot of people, probably about 50% of them, 60% of them, majority of these people are not taking day trading seriously, and they're not studying their charts, and they really don't know what's going on. For the people that actually do study their charts and understand what exactly is going on, it takes time. It's going to take, just like I said, like a college career, it's probably going to take you a good 3 years, 4 years. Give yourself a good 3 or 4 years to just study every single day, maybe like an hour a day, learn a new concept, watch my videos, and also hit the like button on my videos, of course, and just understand how the market works and how it plays out, and do that for a couple of years, and then you'll start to see success, and you won't become a part of the 90%. But for the 10% that actually do make money, that are consistent in the market, what can you expect to make from day trading? So the averages, it depends. That's the real thing. It depends here. It depends on your account size. It depends on how much risk you're willing to take on, and it also depends on your emotions. And we're going to get into each of them specifically, but let's start with just the basic average. The average that you're going to find, which is on Google and everything, the most of the articles you find on this, the average is going to be $106,000 a year that the average day trader can make. That is a career day trader. That's their legit job. They are a day trader, which isn't bad. It's above the national average, which the national average of income is about $50,000. So you're doing double the national average, which is pretty good. So it's a pretty good career if you want to put the time in. And it's one of those careers where you're not tied down all day long. You're gonna have a lot of free time on your hands. So if you want to hop in the market opens. If you're trading stocks, you hop in the market at 9:30, trade stocks for maybe a couple hours, and then you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. It's one of those remote jobs where you can just do from anywhere. You can do it from your office space. You can do it from your bedroom, wherever you want to set up. But when it comes down to figuring out how much you can make, when I said it depends on your account size, is because when you're working, let's say you're working with a $10,000 account. You're working with a $10,000 account. Let's say the average you make per trade is 1%. You're looking to make a 1 or 2% gain on your account. That's going to be $100 or $200 if you win on every single trade. Let's say you take an average of 50 trades a month. If you win all 50, this is a hypothetical here. If you win all 50, it's going to be about $5,000 to $10,000 a month, which isn't bad. That's pretty good. You're making $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 in the year, which takes you right about to the average earning of a day trader. Of course, there's going to be some losses incorporated in that. And in this game, every single trader takes losses. So that's something you have to factor in. A lot of these trading gurus that are on the internet, they don't like to highlight their losses, but literally everybody in this game takes losses. There's not a trader out there that does not take losses, because in this game they consider it gambling, but it's just calculated risk. You're looking at your probabilities. Let's say you're looking at a particular setup and say, oh, this setup has a 70% chance of winning. This has a 30% chance of losing. So you're going to take that every single time, because over the next 50 trades, 100 trades, you know the edge is in your favor, and you're going to make $100, $200 every time you win. And you might lose $50, or depending on your risk parameters, say $50 every time you lose. So in the end, you know to take that trade every single time, and you're going to come out a winner. That's why I don't think this game is for everybody, because it's not one of these jobs where you can consistently make money every single day. Like a typical 9 to 5, you go in there, you clock in, you do your 8 hours, and you know you're going to get a set salary every single day. For me today, I took a loss today. I took a loss in my trading portfolio today. It happens. It happens like that. You're not going to make money every single day. So with people that are not stable and they're not comfortable in a scenario where they can take losses, or they can go on a couple of days without making any money, I don't think this is the career for that person. If you're looking for something stable, you might want to go get a job or try another career. There's a lot of different careers out there if you want to start your own thing that are not up and down like the stock market is. But if you're able to withstand that, and you're able to go, okay, I'm okay with making $1,000 one day and then making absolutely nothing the next, I think this is going to be the perfect career for you. You just have to put the time in and understand your emotions. So I want to break down a quick story of what happened to me, how the stock market has taught me how to manage my emotions. This happened back in 2019. I want to say 2019. I remember the stock vividly, and it was called AIM. I took a play. I took a long on the trade. It went straight up for a little bit. I was sitting in there good. I was like, okay, it's holding, and then it started stalling out. And if people that are familiar with trading, when it stalls out and it's not going any higher, that's a warning sign that you might want to get out. So it stalled out, and all of a sudden it cracked and dumped on me. So that took a big loss. That's the emotional side of trading, where you're sitting there, it's stalling. You know you need to get out, but you're just stubborn. So when you're playing the stock market or whatever market that you're trading, you need to understand how your emotions take a turn in your trade. So you may have the potential to make $100,000 on the year or $200,000 on the year, but if you're not able to handle the emotions that come with it, you're too stubborn, or you're too greedy, or you're too scared of taking profits quickly, or taking profits to whatever you may need to do within your system. If the emotions just override the actual system, it can definitely affect the amount of money that you can make. So for me, in my scenario, I should have got out. I saw it stall. I didn't get out. I was getting greedy. I wanted more money, and then it dumped on me, and I took a big loss. And I remember this loss to this day. That was definitely one of the turning points in my trading. I need to get my emotions down. I need to make sure I manage my emotions, because that is one of those painful things that you're going to go through your trading career. There's going to be these painful emotions that you feel in your trading, and you're not going to forget them. I remember the stocks vividly. Stocks like AIM, stocks like JAGX, stocks like Tesla, stocks like AMC. These tickers I remember vividly, because they were turning points in my career where I was like, okay, I need to make sure I do these correctly and not do that again. So when you're factoring in how much you can make from day trading, it's going to depend on your account size, it's going to depend on your emotions, and it's going to depend on your risk tolerance. So with my risk tolerance, I don't use any leverage. I don't like using leverage. I learned the hard way. Don't use leverage unless you're really comfortable with taking on the risk. But I know a lot of people that like to trade options. They're going to give you a lot more leverage. People that like trading Forex, they're going to give you like 100x leverage. So if you have again, let's use an example. If you have a $10,000 account and you want to use leverage, let's say you want to use a 2-to-1 leverage to make the numbers simple, you now have $20,000 worth of money to play with. So your 1% move is now going to be $200. Your 2% move is going to be $400. So it's going to allow you to make more money. The downside with this is the losses are going to be bigger. So you're only working with a $10,000 account, but you're using 2-to-1 leverage. So you have enough capital for $20,000. But when you take those losses, let's say you take that 2% loss, it's going to be $400 off of your $10,000. But it's also going to be more money on your $10,000 as well. So make sure you're able to understand your risk tolerance when you're trading, because that's going to multiply your money even more. And what I recommend for traders when you're first starting out, don't use any leverage to begin with. Don't trade options. I made a video on this. Don't trade options if you're a beginner. Forex you can trade because it's just so small. The way the price moves is so small. So I do recommend trading with leverage on that. But make sure you trade very small or use very little to no leverage when you're starting out, and slowly build your account up so you can grow it to $20,000, $30,000, and then you can make $100,000 on the year. This is not a linear game. It's not like a standard job where you're just going to get your pass, go collect your $200 every week. It's not one of those. It's one of those games where your first year you may make $10,000. That's going to be a big win. $10,000 is pretty good for your first year. Your second year, maybe you make $15,000, $20,000. Your fourth year, maybe you make $50,000. Your fourth year and on, you make $100,000, $500,000, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to take time to build it up. So that's what's going to factor into your profits, how much you expect to make. It's going to be your risk tolerance, how much risk you're willing to put on, how your emotions play out when you're using that risk, and how your emotions play out when you get greedy or when you get nervous about a trade, and also your account size. So if you're working with a $100,000 account, 1% is $1,000, which is pretty good. $1,000 a day is pretty good on 1%. So that's what you need to focus on. That's what you can potentially make when you are you're day trading. The average is 100,000 on a year for the certified day traders, but it really depends on how much you're willing to put on. And this game is really up to you. This is a personal game. It's not one of these businesses where you get into and you're like, oh, okay, I'm working with a whole bunch of people. Like in real estate, you don't have to work with agents. You don't have to actually see properties and stuff like that. It's not an e-commerce thing where you're communicating with buyers and stuff like, oh, is this product good, stuff like that. This is a solo game. You're all on your own, so don't force your progress. It takes time. If you're not feeling comfortable going in with X amount of size, don't force yourself to go in with X amount of size. And that brings, I forgot one thing. That brings me to another point. That's why it's not, I don't recommend posting profits. I don't think posting profits is helpful. It plays with your emotions. When you make, let's say you make a big win of $1,000 and you go, oh, on Instagram, oh, I want to post it real quick. I feel good posting $1,000. Maybe you're thinking in the back of your head next day, oh, I need to make another $1,000 because I just posted on that everybody's looking for me to make another 1,000. And then you get a big ego like, oh, I'm big. I made $1,000 on the day. Or when you lose $1,000, then you're feeling bad and guilty like, oh, I can't post this anymore. And that really plays on your emotions. So I recommend not to post. I personally don't post. I used to do it when I first started. If you go look back at my Twitter back in like 2018, 19-ish, I used to post my daily profits every day. I would make a little bit of money, lose a little bit of money, and then I felt bad because like people would comment like, oh, how much money did you make on my losing days? I would be like I lost money. I don't really want to talk about it, or I'm just like emotionally going through it because I feel like I'm holding myself accountable to other people, which this is just a solo game. It's just between you and the markets. It's a personal relationship, and how much money you make is really you. It's up to you. It's your personal account, your personal growth. So that's why I really love this game. It's because it's personal growth. But what you expect to make comes down to that. But if you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know how long you've been trading for. Have you been trading for 5 years, 10 years? And we're not posting profits, but I want to know your particular setup that you like to use. What markets do you like to trade the most? And do you enjoy the market you trade down below? But let's have a little community tab down below. And if you have any video ideas that you want me to do, let me know down in the comment section below. But that's going to wrap it up. It's been your boy, Blessed Applesauce. Stay blessed. I'm going to see y'all next time. And blessed to invest.
Just to see tomorrow is a blessing. Stay prayed up is the message. Everything about a nigga blessed. Everything about a nigga blessed.